Welcome back, Blade fans. OG Blades with you here once again. OG Blade singular, that is. There's the logo. And there's another logo. Protech. Protect yourself with Protech. How about that? I don't think they used that yet, did they? Well, brand new in the box, few days old. Thank you, NC Blade, for sending it my way. This was my purchase, 100%. Not provided to me by Protech. Maybe they're listening to this and they'll want to send me some knives in the future. And fair warning, this is an automatic knife. This is a side opening automatic knife. So that turns some people off because they feel they can't have them in their area, not legal, so on and so forth. Same is true here. I can't carry it, but I guess I can't, you know. I can carry it around the house for sure, in my yard, and they can get delivered to me, which is a good thing because there are some places where they can't even be delivered to you. So I'm happy with that. A little slide off cigar band there that allows you to open these flaps, just showing you what you get in case you haven't seen a Protech box before. And it's kind of neat. They are 100% made in the USA. This is the little bag it came in. There's your limited lifetime warranty, and there is their mission statement. Very nice, nicely done, very nicely done. I like the concept of the box there. Okay, and then we have another wrap to take off. Hope you're not getting frustrated yet, you guys that anxiously need to get fulfillment. Well, you know what you can do. Here it is. This is none other than, let me show you the box. I'm actually forgetting the names exactly. Okay, so the BW is for battle worn, gray handle with battle worn feather texture, steel safety, stonewash magna cut blade. It is the Response 4. So there is the Response, the Response 3, and quite frankly, I have only 2 bona fide Protech knives. I did have a nice Malibu, Mordax that I traded off a few years ago. Wish I kept that. They're up there in price. And I picked up another Protech recently as well, and I won't spoil that. I will show you that review in a few days from now. Opening it up, takes one button, and we have the almost patented Protech Snap. They put one heck of a spring in their knives. And if you own a Protech, one thing you may notice is this is on the ginormous side. Well, it's on the large side. It is a 4-inch blade, hence the Response 4, as opposed to the Response 3 or 3.5 or 3.25 or whatever. I jumped on it because a couple of things. I love the feathered texture. I love the gray rather than a black. Means this is not going to show wear as quickly as a black aluminum knife. This is, I forget, T4 aluminum. It's an aluminum handle, and they use the highest grade aluminum. I am not 100% familiar with what they're calling it. I know that various numbers are associated with hardening the aluminum and perhaps anodizing it. Microtech, by the way, uses aluminum on all their OTFs, with maybe the exception of just a few special ones. Anyway, let's not get off on tangents, shall we? I'm going to give this a little wipe down because we've got a stonewashed blade that, for whatever reason, because it's fairly smooth, picks up fingerprints and oil and spit. What we have going here is, of course, an amazingly snappy blade that actually shakes the hand when you open it. So if you want to shake somebody's hand and they're not around, you can just open your auto knife. OTS out the side, OTF out the front. This is an out the side knife. Opens like a standard folder, except there's a spring in around the pivot there, and it is quite powerful, as I said. We have, when it is closed, and only when it is closed, a steel safety, as they mentioned. This is interesting because it is sharp, not sharp like it's going to cut you, but sharp like a very sharp file, because they put these concentric ridges that are milled in on this oval button, and they are sharp little son of a guns. So it was a little too sharp for my taste. Not that I was worried about injuring my thumb, but it was just too draggy, just too rough. So I took my diamond file to it very, very, very carefully. I've got a very fine diamond file used for porcelain and, repairing things. And I just touched it all the way around a little bit without hitting the handle. And it worked. So now it's still very positive, but it works. And it will not engage when the knife is open, so it's not about locking the knife open. It is more about locking the knife closed. Should you want to use it? If you don't want to use it, it's not going to engage on its own, most likely. We've got a steel backspacer. I watched another video where somebody said, hey, just want to let you know, that's not a fuller. I was spacing out, and I called that a fuller. I've forgotten more knife terminologies and forgotten about more knives than I've owned than most. Since I started collecting knives, some very nice custom folders, by the way, back in the mid-70s onto the 80s, Mel Pardue and, names I can't even remember anymore. What can I tell you? Some of the original Camelus knives. If I kept that collection, I'm sure it would be worth quite a bit right now, including some of the custom balisongs from the original balisong company that predated the Benchmade company, or rather the Benchmade company. See? So many interchangeable terms. They're all floating around in the head, and I got to forget a few of them so I can call that a backspacer instead of a fuller. We've got a beautiful clip going on here. It is just flush with the handle with flat-headed screws. It is deep carry. It is short. It has a platform underneath where they removed the feather texturing so you don't have that dragging on your pocket. A lot of thought went into this. Big old lanyard hole. And we've got kind of a skull crusher, glass breaker on the end. It's not heavily defined, but it is hard steel, and it should do the job on whatever you decide to contact it with. We've got a choil, very nice, fits the finger quite nicely. You can't ram it up in there, but you can kind of keep it back a little bit. There's the other side of the pivot, nice and flush, and does look like a T8. Actually, no, it's not a Torx. That is a hex. And I don't have my kit with me, but I'm sure that there are standard kits of hex wrenches, Allen keys, and so forth that will fit that. But just looking at it, it is not a Torx. It's not a T-bit. MagnaCut, oh my God, I forgot to say, it is a MagnaCut, folks. And I'm told that Protech does a good job heat treating their MagnaCut. Couldn't find any numbers on it, but let's hope it's 62 at least. I know Hogue does an excellent job on their MagnaCut, and I'm really hoping that Protech, being another USA company, does the same. All right. I'm excited, so I'm talking a lot. What can I tell you? And it's evening. I usually do these in the morning where I've got to drink a lot of coffee. If we go to the handle, it's like 8 1/8 or 9 1/8. Whoa, 9 1/8 or 9 1/4 to the very end of that steel backspacer pommel thing. So 9¼ inches, folks. That is not a small knife. And the blade should be 4 inches, and certainly it is dead on 4 inches with a cutting edge of 3½. So got a ½ inch choil there. Some other dimensions, as we like to do, in inches, the handle thickness, 0.51. Right in there at ½ inch. Not bad for a very rugged sort of a knife. 0.12 inches on the blade stock, which is 3.1 millimeters without forcing the caliper. What do we have for weight? It's aluminum handle, should be light for its size. We're going to do an ounce per inch here? Nope, we're not. 5 ounces, 5.17, we'll call that, rounding up. So ounce over an ounce per inch equation, but feels like really, for this size knife, feels like nothing in your hand. Really does. Balance point is right at that first peak behind the front finger groove. We have finger grooves on this one, which is a bit different. Again, I don't have other Protechs to compare this to. I have one other, and that's going to be a surprise. I've already tossed up a short on it, so you know what it's going to be. But lots of heavy, nubbed sort of, call it jimping if you want. Towards the pommel, same stuff. Towards the front. And then we've got it on the backspacer as well. Interesting backspacer. They blackened it here, and it is kind of a satin finish on the sides. Tried this in the pocket, and it works quite well. It is a tight clip as it comes out of the box. You can see that sort of bowing down there a little bit. That's usually an indication that you've got a lot of tension on the clip, but it is smooth. And you ain't going to lose it. You can loosen it up if you want. What I do, again, I've mentioned this before, slide a piece of paper or thin cardboard under there, stick a scraper type putty knife underneath there, and just gradually lift a little bit, then check it out, see how it is. A little bit more till you get the tension where you want it. If you overbend it, you can take the clip off and you can bend it back. Use some protection on the clip with a little bit with your pliers over it. You know what I mean. If you've done that sort of deal before, you know what I mean. Pretty good point. Pointy, but not frail, I would say. And just a really nice, I would call it a spear point blade. It's asymmetrical, yes, but if you don't count that swedge on the top, very slight swedge, you essentially have a spear. Do we have paper hanging out? Oh, no, we don't. So I'm going to have to get a sheet. Be right back. Back with you now. It's a piercy knife, first of all. It is very piercy. Let's see if it's also sharp. Oh, man. Protech, you're doing it, man. At least you're killing paper. Got to try it out on some pork or some meats. But that's on paper. That's a smooth edge. I don't feel any real drag there that would lead me to believe that it's toothy. But I wouldn't want it whipping across my skin at any kind of speed. I think that's most of the basics about the knife. We'll look at it again before we leave, but here is some of its kin in terms of out the side knives. How about opening it first? It's a strong spring on that one too. This is the Microtech Stitch Auto, a Borka design, been made by Microtech for a long time. It's a good inch shorter overall. It's a big knife, man. That's Response 4 is a big knife, but you know, some comparisons for you. If you have the stitch, we've got roughly the same thickness going on, I would say. Much thicker blade stock. I mean, this is overkill on this guy. If you want a beast of an auto and you like this design, check out what the blade is riding on for a stop pin. Can you see that? Look at that. I think I measured that once. You can't see it here. Well, there it is. Yes, you can. They sort of nested the stop pin inside the aluminum handle, so it's backed up by the handle. So even though it's a much smaller diameter, it's braced against the aluminum frame. That's pretty good. By the way, yes, also in past videos, I have called the scales of handles, ooh, God forbid. Well, you know, the scales go on the handles. This is a hand, that's a handle, that's the blade. You hold the knife from the handle. If there's scales over the handle, it's all still a handle. Bah! I don't know. I think a lot of people just spend time micro viewing YouTube videos, and they can become like you know, NFL analysts or something. Tom Brady did. Just finished watching him. Here is the Amphibian by also Microtech. It's a big knife. If you've got one, it's just a wee bit longer than the Response 4 by that much. So not even a ½ inch. Yeah, just shy of ½ inch longer. And it does have a longer handle, and it's got the same size blade. Is it a 4-inch blade on the Amphibian? Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So actually, look, a little shorter, a wee bit shorter, depending upon where you go. You go up there, it's 4 inches. You go to the middle, it isn't. So let's call them same size blade, both 4-inch blades. Beautiful, beautiful knife. If you don't have one, highly recommended. Pick this up in many different handle flavors and blade colors, and this happens to be the distressed finish. I'll think of it after the video is all done. And finally, another Microtech. Oh, we've got 3 Microtechs for compare here today, and this is the LUDT Gen 3, a beautiful smaller knife, and yes, it's much shorter than the Response 4 by about 1.5 inches overall. 1.25 inches maybe. What do we have for a blade on this? Come on, stay on there. 3.5, well, a little bit like 3.4-ish overall, 8 inches. So if we got overall 9.25, overall 8 inches, yes, smaller. Very light, also an aluminum handled knife with traction, rubbery traction stuff on the inside. It drags a little on the pocket because the clip's also very tight on this one. Apocalyptic finish is what I was thinking of. I know you were shouting it out loud and I could hear you, so that's the apocalyptic finish. That's stonewashed finish on Microtech. So let me know what you think. One more compare I just thought of, if I can find it. Our big compare is usually the Rat 1, so there it is, and it's shorter by close to 1 inch, with a blade about 3/4 of an inch shorter, something like that. Can't be 3/4. I think this is coming in at, going to make me measure everything today. Yeah, 3.5, a little over 3.5. Yeah, 3.665. So good sized knife, the Rat 1, but She's bigger. Well, again, if you like auto knives, you'll love this. This is one, if you've skipped over Protechs in the past, NC Blade has these. I'll make sure I leave you the link. Hopefully they won't all be sold out by the time you get there, but if they do, they restock. And I think I also saw this exact same knife in black, should you not like the gray. But there you go, you all. There's this northerner saying you all. Yeah, I'm appropriating the southern dialect. What can I tell you? Well, you be well. And right over here, you will see my logo. Click on that if you haven't subscribed, and you'll be able to subscribe to the channel and get notifications every time there's a new drop of a video or a short or what have you, and it'll come into your feed, hopefully. And don't forget to give the vid a like. I would appreciate it. Enjoy, take care, stay safe.